Hello friends, myself Bonaful Banerjee once again back in my channel, that is Hospitality Education PPT, and today another one very vital topic we are going to discuss under culinary art, that is classification and classical cuts of fish. This topic is very important as the informations are bit tricky, and I won't say it is a complicated one, but to get the fair idea about the classification and the cards, we need to thoroughly get some clear understanding about it. And that's why this lesson is designed. So without wasting further time, I welcome you all to this channel once again, that is Hospitality Education PPT. And I strongly believe that whatever lessons we are trying to unearth in front of you, that is really creating some help towards you for your understanding and for your learning. This classroom, as you know, it is beyond your normal classrooms. So anytime, any lesson you want to take up, you can just go to the channel, click the particular lesson and go through it for refreshing your knowledge. And anytime, anywhere, that is the flexibility of this kind of sessions. So I welcome you and let's journey begin. Okay, as because it is based on fish, so first question comes in our mind, that what is fish? I know that most of you are having a very fair idea about the fish, especially those who are fish eaters. And to make it much more clear in your mind, let us try to go through few lines, that is what is fish. Now fish is what? Fish, an aquatic animal, a readily available, relatively cheap source of food that is high in protein. That means it is a cheap source of protein, vitamins and minerals. It is extremely perishable. Perishable, you know, the shelf life is very less if it is not kept in a right condition. So it must be cooked as quickly as possible after being caught, and must be kept cold until it is cooked. There are hundreds of species of fish available: sea fish from the ocean, freshwater fish from the lakes, rivers and streams. However, only one handful of fish is known for the consumptions. As you all know that there are 3 parts of water and 1 part of land in this world. So you can well imagine that what a tremendous variety of fish available throughout this area. Sorry. Now, as we discussed about the composition, let us see this. In fish, in general, water 7 to 80%, that is the standard. Proteins 15 to 20% is available. Fat 1 to 13%. It is very vital. Fat or oil naturally present in fish, that varies a great extent, 1 to 13%. I will clarify it a little later as well. And minerals, that is 1%. That is the composition of fish. Now let us know how to judge the quality of fish. Just very briskly we will go through this. If we are having a whole fish of this kind, then we can see these points. First of all, we'll start with one side, the eyes. Eyes should be very clear, bulging out, not sunken. If you see the gills are bright red in color, not gray or brown. That you can open the gill flap and we can check it, the freshness of the fish. In case of belly region, the cavity, that should not be, there should not be any belly burn. It should not be very soft. The flesh, it will be firm flesh. That means if you press it with your fingertip and remove your finger, then it will spring back. That is the indication of a fresh fish, and the smell should be mild and acceptable odor, and skin should be very shiny and very tight. Scale should be also plenty. If the fish is having a scale, it should be plenty and very firmly placed. So that is all the feature of a good quality fish. Whenever with the normal fish eaters, they go to the market, they normally try to judge the quality of the fish through these basic points only. And when you'll be working as a chef, definitely these points will be giving you extra mileage so that you'll be able to check the fish accordingly, according to these parameters. Now, this fish, other than this fish, we are also having some shellfish, and how to judge their quality. You can see that to judge the quality of the shellfish should be the conditional, it should be purchased alive and both claws attached to ensure freshness. That means there is a great no that you are not going to purchase the fish which is dead. Shellfish should be always alive. First condition. They should be heavy in proportion to their size. So whenever you pick up, according to the size, the weight should be heavier. That is a good healthy sign. The coral of the hen lobster, that means the female one, is necessary to give the required color for the soups and sauce. So coral is very delicate. We should use it. We should have, if the color of the coral is there, then color is to be justifiable. Hen lobsters are distinguished from the cock lobster by the broader tail. If we identify which one is the hen lobster and which one is the cock lobster, cock means the male one, then definitely the hen lobster, the tail should be broader than the cock lobster. That you should remember in your mind. So this is the quality criteria for shellfish. Now we'll try to classify the fish, and I'll tell you that this classification of fish can be done on the basis of different criteria. What are those criteria? First criteria is their natural environment, that is the habitat from which water source they are coming. Depending on that, you can see the natural environment. It can come from salt water. Salt water means from sea or ocean. And we are having few examples out here: sole, sea bass, mackerel, plaice, squid, cod, sea bream, John Dory, tuna, whiting, mullet, sardine, and anchovy. And there are many other as well. Okay. So this is an example. These fish are coming from saltwater fish, that is sea or sea and ocean. Correct. Another one habitat is freshwater fish. Freshwater means rivers, lakes, and ponds. Great examples are rohu, katla, pike, etc. And there are plenty other examples as well. There is another one fish category. They are habitant in both the water, not only in salt water, not only in fresh water, but their combination of lifestyle is in fresh water or sea water. And because of this typical habitual style, they are known as diadromas. Dia indicates both, two. What is that? Now, under diadromas also there are two categories. Let us clarify. First is salmon, among others, are called anadromous. This term you try to remember. Anadromous means, that means they hatch in fresh water and then migrate out into the ocean to mature. You got my point? So salmon kind of fish, they are anadromous. They hatch in the fresh water and then they move to the ocean water for maturing. They migrate. Clear? They are known as anadromous. Another one is known as catadromous. Example is American eel. They are born in salt water and then spend most of their lives in rivers, migrate downstream to the sea to spawn. So just opposite than the anadromous. So catadromous fish is basically spawning in sea water and then they spend most of their lives in rivers, that is in fresh water. So anadromous, catadromous, these are two examples of freshwater and seawater fish combinations. So this is one way to categorically classify the fish. There is another one way, depending on their lipid content. Lipid content is nothing but the fat content or the oil content, and depending on that also they are classified. The lipid content is lean fish. Lean means free of fat or very negligible amount of fat available. Here it is indicated less than 5% fat. Examples are sea bass, pike, cod, hake, sea bream, monkfish, whiting, cod, skate, sole, flounder, and trout. These are the fish called the lean fish. Why they are called lean fish? Because they have less than 5% of fat in their body. There is another one category, of course, meat fat fish, where the percentage of fat is between 5 to 10% only. And the examples are sardines, halibut, anchovies, mackerel, carp, swordfish, and roach. So these are the examples of meat fat fish. And when we get meat fat, it is understood that we got another one, absolutely a fatty fish, where the fat percentage is 10 to 25% fat. Examples are herring, eel, tuna, salmon. In the beginning of the slides, if you remember, we have given the composition. There we have mentioned fat content is 1 to 13% on an average. And here you can see those oily fish or fatty fish, they are having very high content of fat in their body, that is 10 to 25%. Examples are also there in front of you. So this is another way to classify the fish depending on the lipid content. And another one, depending on their shape, they can also be classified. The shape of the fish, we can get a flat fish. Here we have mentioned one word, that is two fillets. You don't confuse the word right now, we'll clear it afterwards in the following slides. Flatfish, examples are sea bream, John Dory. From the name it is very clear they are flat by nature. Their shape is flat type, that's why they are called flatfish. And normally, just for your memory, you keep it in your mind that from the flatfish we get two fillets. What is fillet? That I will clarify. There are flatfish with four fillet as well. Examples are brill, turbot, sole, flounder. So flatfish with two fillet, flatfish with four fillets available. Then we are getting another one, sea round fish with two fillets. Now we are getting another one new concept out here, round fish from sea. And we are getting how many fillets? Two fillets. Examples are bar, tuna, whiting, mullet, and sardine. And another one we are getting round freshwater fish with two fillets. Examples are eel, pike, carp, tench. Okay. Now we have mentioned about the word flatfish and roundfish. Let us try to elaborate it a little more to give you a very clear concept in your mind about the flat and round fish. First, the flatfish, flat in shape, of course. From the name, it is very clear. Both eyes in one side. This is very important to identify. Both eyes in one side. I'll tell you one story that when these flatfish they born, that time both the eyes are there in both ends, both sides, not in one side. As time grows, one of the eyes, either from the left or from the right, will naturally move to the other side. That means left will move to the right or right eye will move to the left as the fish will grow. Depending on that, this kind of fish are also known as left-eyed fish or right-eyed fish. Of course, left-eyed flatfish, right-eyed flatfish. So both the eyes will be there in a mature stage in one side only. Okay. It swims flat with the surface of the water. It swims flat. You understand that. Belly side of the fish is white in color as because it is always in touch with the water. Okay. Let us see the image. You can see here it has got two eyes on one side only. It is flat while swimming. The belly side we can see from this side of the image. Then the round fish. It is round in shape, roundish. Eyes are on either side. Like in flatfish, we are having eyes on both the same side. In case of round fish, eyes are on either side. Swims in a horizontal fashion. Flatfish swim flat. Round fish swims horizontal. Both the sides are of same color. Both the sides are of same color. Okay. Now let us see the image. You can see here this fish is a round fish because of the style and how they are swimming, and almost they are having a same color on both the sides. This side and that side. Clear? This is the conceptual difference between flat and round fish. Henceforth, you should not have any complaint about the idea of flat fish and round fish. Flatfish should have two eyes on one side. Otherwise, it is not a flatfish. Clear? Let's proceed to the next. Classification of the fish, which is another one very complicated, though we have tried to give you the concept that depending on the habitat style, depending on the fat content or lipid content, or depending on the shape of the fish, it can be classified. But if you combine all these things, then how we can have a broad classification of fish? That is the question now, and you are going to sort it out. Fish primarily can be divided into two parts. One is the fin fish, other one is the shellfish. Now at present we will concentrate on fin fish now, their classification. Fin fish further can be classified into two subcategories. One is the freshwater fish, other one is saltwater fish. Fair enough. There is no doubt. Already we have discussed this. Now we are classifying it in a very organized manner. So fin fish can be further subdivided into two depending on the water source, freshwater and saltwater. Clear? Now, under freshwater and saltwater, there are again one category. One is the lean category and other one is the fatty category. Lean category, you know, 0 to 5% of fat, and fatty category 5 to 25% of fat. Okay, so that's the classification of fin fish. Now we'll go for shellfish. Shellfish can be divided into two categories. One is crustaceans and other one is the mollusk. You can see this. Now crustaceans, the examples I'll cite out here: crayfish, lobster, crab and shrimp. They are having some external shells which covers their body and they are having multiple shells. Those who have seen, they can easily identify that. Those who have not dealt with fish, you can see the images through different resources. You will get a fair idea. So crustaceans, crayfish, lobster, crab and shrimp, they are having multiple shells to cover up their body. They don't have any bone internal structure inside the flesh. Mollusk can be divided into three subcategories. One is bivalve, other one is univalve, and then the third one is cephalopod. Bivalve means they are having more than two shells to cover their body. More than one means two shells, that means bivalve. And in this case, univalve means they are having a single cell to cover their body. Cephalopod I will mention afterwards. Bivalve examples are clam, mussel, oyster, scallop. These are having two shells to cover up their entire body. That's why they are coming under bivalve category. And univalve category is conch, snail, abalone. So this is on univalve, that means they are having one single shell to cover their body. Then the cephalopod. Cephalopod is what? Cephalopod is little different than this bivalve and univalve. They are having two major parts of the body. One is the main body and then on top of that the head. Head and body is connected. Head can be moved. They are having a very small internal skeleton. And examples are octopus and squid. So they are known as cephalopod. Clear? So this is the total classification. If the question comes, naturally you have to give the entire picture. Here in the slides I have given in two parts. Now we'll switch over to classical cuts of fish. You can see the image. This image is basically known as the fillet of fish. This word already you have come across. You can see the spelling F-I-L-L-E-T, and in French it is known as filet, F-I-L-E-T. In English F-I-L-L-E-T, fillet, and in French we call it F-I-L-E-T, fillet. What is a fillet? A deboned, that means the central bone of the fish, the main bone of the fish is removed. Along the flat fish, pieces of fish without the skin. The fillet contains most of the edible portion of the fish. Fillet of larger fish can be cut further into portions. So from the whole fish, when you remove the central bone and remove the skin, whatever you get from the sides of the fish, that is known as fillet, and it looks like this. Fillets are extremely versatile cuts that can be used in seasoned, marinated, baked, fried and sauteed. And depending on the species, it can be found skin on or skin off. In some cases we use the skin for a particular preparation. In some cases we remove the skin. So that is what is called the fillet. That means side of a fish without the central bone is known as the fillet of fish. Now if you remember, we have mentioned in the shape that flatfish, two fillets. Some of the flatfish also having four fillets. Round fish, they are having two fillets. So this means the one of the sides. Maximum 2 fillets or 4 fillets we are getting. Now you can see the same picture with a different diagram. Both the fillets are connected in one piece, looking like a butterfly, and because of that it is known as the butterfly fillet. This card begins with a fillet. A butterfly fillet is essentially two fillets attached by skin that, when spread out, take on the shape of a butterfly. This card is ideal for pan frying or baking. Sometimes we require, for certain elegant preparations, we need to have the fillet of this kind. Both the sides are attached together, and accordingly it is used. Either it is pan fried or baked. Because of the typical shape, once they are attached, it is known as a butterfly fillet. Clear? Classical cuts of fish. Another one. You can see the image. This cut is known as delis. This is one fillet or two fillets per portion, neatly folded in half, sometimes with a filling or shaped, or the tail end put through an incision. In French, délice means delight. On the menu, we would of course add the name of the fish, that means délice of soul or délice the soul. Okay. Some more elaborations. As we have mentioned that the fillet is folded, make one incision out here and the tail end is inserted inside, or it will remain like this, and inside we can put some stuffing. This total arrangement is known as delis, and it looked like this. Clear? It is gently patted and folded, nothing else. Delis is clear. Now next card is la paupiette. The image is like this. What is la paupiette? This is a fillet of fish which is stuffed with some fish farts, white, or salmon farts, that is pink, and other stuffings, rolled and stewed up. It is invariably poached in a good fish stock and served in a rich fish sauce. It should appear on the menu as paupiette of lemon, sole, or paupiette de limonade. Limonade. You can see this. That means a fillet of fish which is stuffed and then rolled into cylindrical shape. While stuffing, we can use a fish, we can use creamed spinach, we can use duxelle mixture and other stuffing as well. Then it is rolled and it looks like this. This arrangement is known as paupiette, stuffed and rolled into cylindrical shape. Then another cut, you can see it is plated, and this is also known as a truss. A truss in French, derived from a fillet, cuts a fillet into three strips, leaving them attached on one's end, and then plate the three strips into a neat plate, like how you create a style in with the hair, especially the female, they are doing it. How it is done? You can see this. As we have mentioned, this fillet, it is in top, it is attached. It is slitted into three pieces and then it is plated like this. This is known as truss or plated fish. This is another one, classical cuts. This one is known as low supreme. What is this? It is a prime boneless cut from a fillet or loin, which is cut either as a block or bias cut. Bias means little slant, and it is considered the best and choicest cut of fish. That's why the name is given supreme. Supreme is the best. Also called a pave. A supreme cut removes all the bones in a fillet. You can see a thick chunk of fish obtained from a fillet, supposed to be the best part of the fish and best cut. And it is also done like this. When you get the entire fillet, once you cut with a bias technique, bias means little slant, the pieces comes out like this. It becomes a supreme cut, the best cut out of a fish fillet. Clear? Fair enough? Now classical cuts of fish we also get here too. First one is le gouzon, is a strip or also known as a finger shape of fish fillet, approximately 6 to 8 inches centimeter long. Thickness is 1 centimeter maximum. Goujons cut is from the fillet of small fish such as sole or plaice. This type of cut is basically used for shallow or deep fat fry. You can see out here the entire fillet and how it is cut like a finger shape. Maximum dimension is 8 to 6 centimeter long and 1 centimeter thickness. Another one cut we are talking about, similar cut, is known as le goujonnette. Same as goujon, but half the size of them. That means once goujon is cut into half, it becomes goujonnette. Goujonnette indicates a smaller cut, are neatly shaped, rounded into cylindrical shape. They are also mainly used for deep fat frying or shallow fat frying. Clear? So once you know goujon, you can also cut it into half, get the goujonnette. Now, till now, whatever cuts we have discussed, that is on the fillet. Now we'll see the cut which is obtained on the whole fish. And this piece is known as dern. Fish, whole fish cut, especially it is a round fish cut on the bone. The cutting is usually used for fish steak such as salmon steak or tuna steak. You can see here is a demonstration, now illustration rather. The whole fish, once you cut like this along with this line given, and you get the pieces like this. This is known as dern. Round fish cut on the bone. Round fish cut on the bone. On the bone means with the bone. The bone is remaining out here. It is not removed. Also known as a steak cut. Similar cut, once it is obtained from a flat fish, it is known as tronçon. Fish cut is a cut of flat fish on the bone. Same style. Here you can see a flat fish cut from the middle and then again you are taking into small pieces. This is known as tronçon. So dern and tronçon are obtained two steak cuts. Dern is obtained from the round fish on the bone. Tronçon is obtained from the flat fish on the bone. Very simple. Is also known as a steak cut. Already I have mentioned that. So with this, we are at the end of the session. Small lesson for you. Thanks for attending this session. And I believe that some of your confusions are clear about the classifications and about the cuts of the fish. Now you can repeat this session once again according to your free time available. to get a very clear concept in your mind before you go to your lab for practical work. Very soon I'll be back with another one exciting lesson for you all. If you have liked the session, definitely subscribe, press the like button, press the bell button so that you get the alert immediately I upload another one session. I'm really sorry because I have some cough and cold. That's why sometimes there was some disturbances. In coming session, I believe that won't be there. It will be a smooth class for you. So with the comment, with the belief that next week we are going to meet. But before that, it is your commitment. You give some comments, valuable comments over there so that I can clarify your doubts. And also you comment about the session. Thank you very much. We'll meet once again. Goodbye. Take care.